Right now, while you're watching this video, your emergency fund is quietly losing money. Not because you spent it, not because someone stole it, but because it's just sitting there. And that's exactly what you were told to do with it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you've got $10,000 in a regular savings account earning basically nothing, you're losing around $300 to $400 in buying power every single year. That's a Netflix subscription, a couple of grocery trips, your phone bill just evaporating. And the worst part? You think you're being responsible. Today, I'm going to show you what's actually happening to your emergency fund, why the traditional advice is outdated, and where that money should actually be so it stops working against you. Let's start with how we got here. You've been told your whole life to keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account. Easy access, safe, liquid. And look, that advice isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. Most traditional savings accounts right now are paying somewhere between 0.01% and maybe 0.5% interest if you're lucky. Meanwhile, inflation has been running at 3 to 4% annually, and that's the official number. Your actual lived experience, groceries, gas, rent, probably feels higher. So let's do the math on that $10,000. If your account pays 0.5% interest, you earn $50 in a year. But if inflation is 3.5%, your money needs to grow by $350 just to keep the same buying power. You're $300 in the hole every single year. And here's the thing that really stings. You feel good about having that money saved. You check your account, see $10,000, and think you're doing great. But that $10,000 buys less today than it did last year. It's like watching your emergency fund slowly deflate, but the number on the screen stays the same. So why does everyone tell you to do this? Because for decades it made sense. Back when savings accounts actually paid 4 or 5% interest, your emergency fund could keep pace with inflation. It was safe and it maintained its value. But that world doesn't exist anymore. Banks still want your deposits. They need them to make loans and generate profit, but they have zero incentive to pay you competitive interest rates when you'll keep your money there anyway, out of habit or fear. And let's be honest about the fear part. You've been conditioned to think that anything other than a basic savings account is risky. Stocks crash, crypto is gambling, real estate is complicated, so you leave your money somewhere safe. And that safety costs you hundreds of dollars a year in purchasing power. The financial industry calls this cash drag. It's the silent wealth killer that nobody talks about at dinner parties. And it's especially brutal for people who are just starting to build wealth because you're losing ground on money you worked hard to save. But here's what almost nobody tells you. There's a middle ground, a place where your emergency fund can stay accessible, stay relatively safe, and actually keep up with inflation. Stay with me. Let me be clear, you absolutely need an emergency fund. Life happens. Cars break down, medical bills appear, jobs disappear. But you need that fund to work as hard as you did to create it. Here's the move. High-yield savings accounts and money market funds. These aren't exotic investments. They're still boring and stable, but they actually pay you real interest, often 4 to 5% right now. Let's run those numbers again. Same $10,000, but now it's in a high-yield savings account earning 4.5%. That's $450 a year in interest. Inflation at 3.5% means you need $350 to break even. Now you're actually $100 ahead. Your emergency fund is protecting itself. And before you think this sounds complicated, it's not. You can open a high-yield savings account online in about 10 minutes. Most of them are FDIC insured, just like your regular bank account, meaning your money is protected up to $250,000. You can transfer money in and out just as easily. The only difference is you're getting paid properly for keeping your money there. Some people will say, but what if I need the money immediately? Fair question. Most high-yield accounts let you transfer to your checking account in 1 to 2 business days. If you're really worried, keep 1 month of expenses in your regular checking account for same-day access and put the rest of your emergency fund in the high-yield account. Problem solved. Now, here's the next level move for people who want to get even more strategic. Consider splitting your emergency fund into tiers. Tier 1, 1 month of expenses in your regular checking account. Instant access, zero friction. Tier 2, 3 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account, available in a day or two, earning real interest. Tier 3, 2 months of expenses in a short-term bond fund or treasury bills, slightly higher returns, still very safe, accessible within a few days. This isn't about taking wild risks, it's about being intentional with money you've already saved. Each tier serves a purpose, and none of it is just sitting there losing value to inflation. Here's the part that trips people up. We confuse familiar with safe. Your regular savings account feels safe because it's what you know. Your parents probably use the same bank, you've had the account for years, it's comfortable. But comfortable isn't the same as smart, and safe isn't the same as effective. Think about it like this. If someone told you they had a storage unit for your stuff, but every year 3% of your belongings just disappeared, you'd move your stuff immediately. You wouldn't care how convenient the location was. But with money, we see the same number on the screen and assume everything's fine. It's not. The other psychological block is this idea that you need to be an investing genius to do anything other than a basic savings account. You don't. High-yield savings accounts aren't investing, they're just better saving. You're not picking stocks or timing markets, you're literally just choosing a different place to park the same money. And if you're thinking, why didn't my bank tell me about this? Well, now you know why. They make more money when you earn less. It's not personal, it's just how the system works. So here's what you do this week. Not someday, this week. Step 1. Search high-yield savings accounts and compare rates. Look for accounts with at least 4% interest, FDIC insurance, and no monthly fees. Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, Capital One 360, there are dozens of solid options. Step 2. Open the account. It takes 10 minutes. You'll need your ID and bank account info to link it for transfers. Step 3. Move at least 80% of your emergency fund into that new account. Keep a small buffer in your regular checking if it makes you feel better, but get the bulk of your money working for you. Step 4. Set a calendar reminder to check rates every 6 months. Banks change their rates, and you want to make sure you're still getting a competitive deal. That's it. 4 simple steps, and you've just stopped the slow leak that's been draining your emergency fund. Look, personal finance doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. Sometimes the biggest wins come from questioning the defaults we've accepted without thinking. Your emergency fund is one of the smartest financial moves you can make, but leaving it in a low-interest account isn't protecting it, it's quietly eroding it. You worked too hard for that money to let inflation steal it while you sleep. Make the switch. Your future self will thank you. And if you found this helpful, send it to someone who's still keeping their savings in the wrong place. Let's stop losing money together. See you in the next one.